Ladies and gentlemen, let me be direct with you today. Fix yourself, because nobody cares about you. This isn't meant to sound harsh, but it is the truth that most of us need to hear. Life isn't waiting for you to get your act together. The world keeps moving, with or without you. And the only person responsible for your growth is you. People often fail to realize that personal accountability is the foundation for true growth. It's easy to point fingers at circumstances, other people, or even fate when life doesn't go the way you want. But the truth is, no one else is responsible for your life. Every decision you've made, every action you've taken, and even every opportunity you've missed is a result of choices, yours. Accepting this is not easy, but it is the first and most critical step toward change. Accountability forces you to confront yourself. It demands honesty, and that can be uncomfortable. Many people avoid accountability because it's easier to blame external factors. I didn't get the promotion because my boss doesn't like me, or I'm unhappy because someone else treated me poorly. While those reasons might hold some truth, focusing on them robs you of power. You're giving control of your life to circumstances you can't change. Accountability, on the other hand, puts you in the driver's seat. It makes you realize that while you might not control everything that happens to you, you always control how you respond. When you take full ownership of your life, you stop waiting for the world to fix itself for you. You start looking inward and asking, what can I do differently? That shift in perspective is where growth begins. It's empowering to realize that you don't have to wait for anyone or anything to change. You can start changing right now. Accountability doesn't mean being hard on yourself or blaming yourself for everything. It's about understanding that you are responsible for your outcomes. It's about finding solutions instead of making excuses. When you embrace personal accountability, you lay the foundation for progress, self-respect, and long-term success. No one else can do it for you. It starts and ends with you. Excuses are the easy way out, but they only delay your progress and keep you stuck in the same cycle of failure and frustration. When things don't go as planned, it's natural to justify the outcome with reasons that absolve you of responsibility. You might blame your circumstances, the actions of others, or even bad luck. But the hard truth is that excuses don't change anything. They don't improve your situation, they don't solve your problems, and they certainly don't move you closer to your goals. Making excuses feels comfortable in the moment because it allows you to avoid facing the reality of a situation. However, every excuse you make is a step away from personal growth. It's like putting a wall between you and the life you want to build. Excuses keep you in a state of inaction, where you're not solving problems, taking risks, or learning from your mistakes. Progress only happens when you take charge of your life and accept that your actions or inactions are the primary factors shaping your results. The truth is, life doesn't care about your excuses. Whether you missed an opportunity, didn't prepare enough, or simply made a bad decision, those things don't define you unless you let them. What defines you is how you choose to move forward. The key is to replace excuses with solutions. Instead of saying, I couldn't do it because I didn't have enough time, ask yourself, how can I make better use of my time next time? This shift in mindset transforms obstacles into opportunities for improvement. When you take ownership of your circumstances instead of hiding behind excuses, you empower yourself to grow, adapt, and succeed. So the moment you stop justifying why you can't do something is the moment you start finding ways to make it happen. People are too busy with their own challenges to focus on yours. This is not because they are unkind or uncaring, it's simply the reality of life. Everyone you meet is dealing with their own struggles, insecurities, and dreams. While some may empathize with your problems for a moment, their attention will inevitably return to their own lives. It's not selfishness, it's human nature. Understanding this is essential if you want to grow and thrive. Too often, people wait for someone to notice their pain, offer them help, or give them the validation they crave. They expect the world to pause and take care of them. But the harsh truth is that the world doesn't stop for anyone. It moves forward, indifferent to individual struggles. People are juggling their own responsibilities, relationships, and aspirations, and they simply don't have the capacity to prioritize your challenges over their own. This isn't meant to make you feel alone or unsupported. It's meant to help you realize the power you hold within yourself. Once you stop expecting others to care deeply about your problems, you free yourself from the disappointment of unmet expectations. More importantly, you begin to take full ownership of your life. The reality is that those who achieve success and happiness don't wait for others to fix their problems. They recognize that they are responsible for their own growth. They don't depend on sympathy or external validation. Instead, they focus on building their strength, solving their problems, and moving forward, even when no one else is watching. When you understand that people are preoccupied with their own lives, you stop looking outward for help and start looking inward for solutions. This shift in mindset allows you to grow stronger, more independent, and more focused on what truly matters, your own progress. Self-discipline and resilience are the cornerstones of earning respect and achieving independence. These traits are not talents or qualities you're born with. They are habits you cultivate over time through consistent effort. Self-discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. It's waking up early to chase your goals, staying focused when distractions are everywhere, and pushing forward when it would be easier to quit. Resilience, on the other hand, is the capacity to bounce back after setbacks, to endure challenges, and to keep moving forward no matter how difficult the journey becomes. Without self-discipline, your goals remain dreams. It's the bridge between wanting something and achieving it. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack the discipline to put in the work day after day. They let excuses, comfort, or temporary feelings dictate their actions. But the truth is, success is built on doing the hard things when no one is watching, when it feels uncomfortable, and when it seems easier to give up. Resilience is just as important because life is unpredictable. There will always be obstacles, failures, and moments of doubt. Resilience allows you to face these challenges head on without losing momentum. It's the understanding that failure is not the end, but a stepping stone to growth. Every setback you encounter is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and come back stronger. When you develop self-discipline and resilience, you earn the respect of others, not because you seek it, but because people admire those who have control over themselves and the strength to keep going. More importantly, you gain independence. You no longer rely on others to push you forward or pull you up. You become self-sufficient, capable, and unstoppable. Growth begins the moment you stop seeking external validation and start focusing on your own progress. Many people fall into the trap of looking outward for approval, hoping that others will notice their efforts or applaud their achievements. They measure their worth based on how much recognition they receive, whether from friends, family, or society at large. But the harsh truth is, relying on external validation is a losing game. It's fleeting, inconsistent, and ultimately out of your control. When you place your self-worth in the hands of others, you give them power over your happiness and sense of accomplishment. Their opinions, moods, or indifference can dictate how you feel about yourself. This dependency not only limits your potential, but also keeps you stuck in a cycle of constantly chasing approval instead of focusing on what truly matters: your own growth. Real transformation happens when you shift your focus inward. Instead of asking, "What will people think of me?" ask yourself, "Am I proud of the effort I'm putting in? Am I moving closer to my goals?" When you stop worrying about external validation, you free yourself from the pressure of trying to meet everyone else's expectations. You begin to define success on your own terms, based on the progress you make and the standards you set for yourself. This mindset change allows you to stay grounded even when no one acknowledges your hard work. It builds a deeper sense of self-respect and confidence because you're no longer dependent on the opinions of others to feel fulfilled. Over time, you'll find that this internal drive is far more rewarding than any external praise. Growth becomes about becoming the best version of yourself, not for anyone else, but for you. That's when real progress begins. The world rewards results, not intentions, and that's an unchangeable reality. No matter how good your ideas are or how noble your intentions might be, what ultimately matters is what you accomplish. People don't see the effort you put into planning or the thoughts you had about taking action. They see the outcome. This is why it's crucial to focus on execution over excuses, on results over promises. Intentions are comforting. They allow you to tell yourself and others that you're on the right path or that you're working on something meaningful. But intentions without action are empty. Saying you'll start a project, improve your habits, or change your life means nothing if you don't follow through. The gap between intention and action is where most people falter. They plan, they talk, they imagine, but they fail to act, and as a result, nothing changes. Results are what the world notices and values because they reflect not just effort, but effectiveness. It's not enough to want success. You have to earn it through consistent work and tangible progress. This requires discipline, focus, and the ability to push through discomfort and doubt. It's not about doing something perfectly the first time, but about showing up every day and making measurable steps forward. The harsh reality is that no one will care about the reasons why you didn't achieve something. They won't sympathize with your missed opportunities or listen to excuses about circumstances. The world respects those who deliver, those who take action and produce results despite obstacles. That's why it's so important to focus your energy on what you can achieve rather than just what you plan to do. At the end of the day, results speak louder than words, and they define who you are in the eyes of the world. In the end, your life is your responsibility, and no one will care more about it than you. Excuses, external validation, and waiting for others to help will only hold you back. Growth comes from self-discipline, resilience, and a relentless focus on action over intention. The world isn't here to fix you or reward you for trying. It values results and the strength to overcome challenges. When you take full accountability for your journey, you become unstoppable. Stop waiting for someone to care and start caring for yourself. Fix yourself and you'll discover the power to shape your own destiny.